Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-118 for parcel number 37082-131731000, represented by William and Christine Autry, and William is present today. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to the BOE YouTube channel once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville, as chair, Marge Steinmetz as vice chair. We normally have 3 board members on the panel, except for today. However, 2 board members make a quorum, and we will proceed with the hearings. We received all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new testimony may be given, may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines and please address the board only. Both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Appellant will go first, present any testimony, then we'll be followed by the appraiser. So go ahead.
Well, first, I'd like to thank everyone for taking their time to be here to listen to a taxpayer complain about his taxes. But all that being said, my wife and I received our tax assessment in the past year, and it was a pretty large jump at about $120,000. And then another 14 months later, we had another jump of approximately, nominal numbers here, about 101,000. And I thought, wow, this just seems like this is totally out of line, you know. And so I started going back and looking at different values from the assessor's site and trying to compare things, and I found out how ominous that really is, working in that database. But one of the things that I did is that I looked at what our values were, and I'm not here to question the land values or the outbuilding values, but specifically just the home value placed on it. My wife and I live out on Drumheller Road, and it's not exactly what I call a desirable place to live for a lot of people, but it works for us because it's close in to drive to Moses Lake, where we used to work. So anyway, getting down to that, what I did is that I went through and I gleaned the assessor's database as much as it was available to me, and I filtered out homes that have been sold in the last 3 years according to the database, and I filtered out what those actual home values is listed by the assessor. Now, I can't vouch 100% that these numbers are exact, but I did a lot of copy and pasting, and so putting these in a spreadsheet is kind of tedious and et cetera. Anyway, the point of what kind of came out to me and it kind of jumped out to me is that all of these homes that I look for, I live in a manufactured home, and so I look for a Valley Mansion model that was as near to what I have as possible, and I found nominally about a dozen, all told. And when I separated out what the assessed value was on the homes, one of the things that kind of jumped out at me was that mine was actually one of the highest, if not the highest, on the list. Now, these homes are spread out all over the county. Two of them are in desert air that are within walking distance of a golf course, and another one is on a golf course. And these things are in Quincy. They're all over the place. And so one of the other things that I did is I looked at local properties around in my area, and in my area there are very few stick-built homes. And I also looked at the areas in the Ephrata area, so like in just this generalized area for homes that I knew that were like and kind to what I have. And I realized that mine is still right out there at the top of the list. And so I created this spreadsheet that I gave to the board right in here. And so I took these things and I looked at them at an assessed value per square foot, and I looked at all of the different variables that I could come up with. I even spent a little time going out to each one of these homes and just taking a look and whatnot. And something kind of jumped out at me, and I'm not trying to say that it's a fault of the assessor's office or anything. It just looked to me like some of these things were awfully subjective, I guess is the right word to say. And so I don't necessarily see how they compare in any instance that they compare in value. So one of the things that, like I said, that keeps jumping out, I listed in here the date of manufacture, et cetera, and you'll see that mine was manufactured in 97. It's generally on the older end of the list, and yet it's still assessed value is still significantly higher than most of the others. And so I looked at ones that I knew of in the Ephrata area, for instance, that are like on Dodson Road and various other places, and that I knew were the exact same home, et cetera. And they just jump out at you. Now, the numbers are just they are very, very hard for me to digest, and I'm a numbers guy. So I was asking that the assessor's office should take another look at what my assessed value is and possibly redetermine it, or at least give me a good explanation why mine is assessed significantly higher than a whole lot of others that are much newer. And as we know, manufactured homes depreciate. I mean, that's kind of a misnomer, because all homes appreciate in value over time, but manufactured homes are known to depreciate for just because of their manufacture. So anyway, I don't want to be overly wordy about this. What I was asking is that the assessor's office might take another look, or at least give me a reasonable reason why mine is assessed at, $348,000, where one on Dodson Road is assessed at $166, and it's literally the same house, and it's 2 years newer, and and it's actually in a more desirable place to live. So I don't get it, I guess is the right way of saying it. So and I'm stumbling over myself here, so forgive me for being too wordy. So anyway, that's what my case is more than anything else, is that I don't understand why I'm sitting on top of the list, and it just doesn't make sense.
Is that all you have?
Pardon?
Is that all you have? Do you have anything else to say?
Well,
I mean,
other than verbiage, I mean, as far as a place to live or neighborhood, my home, my property is adjacent to one that's been condemned. Across the road from that is one that's been abandoned, and next to it is an illegal truck shop that's in a rural residential neighborhood with no home. It was put there fraudulently, but other than that, I don't see I'm still trying to grasp where I just wanted an explanation more than anything else.
Okay. I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
Where did you come up with the number for your house?
The one that I have here?
Yeah.
That number came from the assessor's office database that's listed on the Grant County website. All my numbers came from that.
So
what got my attention was that our taxes in a period of less than 2 years jumped 94%, which is a chunk. I mean, when you think about it, it's almost doubling. And so that got my attention, you know, and that's when I really started looking at the numbers. And I just didn't, I at a loss, I guess is kind of the right word. And so I looked at the real estate values and granted, when you go out and look for information on what real estate sales and whatnot look like in this county, depending on whether you're looking at Redfin or Zillow, they all spit out different factors and it's all based on, you know, real estate hocus pocus. But as near as I can tell, the property values in Grant County are rising at a nominal rate of about 2.8% a year at best. And they trend like this, just like everything else does. And so I'm trying to figure out why mine jumped at such a rate. Now, if it's been undervalued and it's a catch-up period, I just need to know that part. But I just, why I'm here.
Have you, did you happen to go into the assessor's office and talk to them before?
Yeah, quite a long time ago. When all of this first started is, you know, this board convened significantly after all of this process started. So a lot of things are in flux. And so, as memory serves, yes, and I did go in and talk to the assessor's office. I don't believe that I talked to you directly per se.
It was at the counter maybe.
But I just, that was like 9 months ago, 8 months ago. And so,
Anything else?
you know, I think I don't know if I've made my case or not, but I would like to have it.
You'll have a chance to rebut
okay.
anything she says.
Yes,
so.
okay. Yeah, that's all I really, I'm here to, I did not cherry pick this data. I really didn't. I just used the county's own filter to filter these things out. And these homes are all Valley Mansion models. Every one of them on this list are. And they're in various locations. And there's a few others that were so far out of the area that I didn't.
Okay.
But
Let's
other
go
than,
on.
I didn't cherry pick
Let's
them.
go on with the assessor's office.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the appellant did supply a variety of sales, all spanning the county. Now, with what the Department of Revenue requires of us is to meet 100% market value. And within your area is where your market will show. So sales closer to your home within your neighborhood are the homes that are going to represent your value the best. Now, we had one sale of a triple wide manufactured home within the subject neighborhood. And that's what that market adjustment was based off of. That increased the value of this home. That is on page 7 of my appraiser response. That's comparable number 1. Now, with there being just one sale, there are only 9 other triple wide manufactured homes within the subject neighborhood. So that one sale did represent a market for that neighborhood. However, with all the sales that the appellant did provide, I put the other sales that were within that Ephrata area. Those are comparables 2, 3, and 4 in that grid. And with all of those included, our value for the appellant property is supported. Now, with that sale of older homes being, with the year built on the homes in here, they do vary quite a bit. But with this one sale that was used to make that market adjustment, it is actually an older home than what the appellant's is, and pretty comparable, very comparable as a comp for us. With the neighbors being less than desirable, when we don't see a market difference for certain areas, we can't make an adjustment. So we didn't have sales that represented a lower market for the Drumheller area. So that's why there isn't a difference for that area in particular. It may seem that as the appellant stated, that our values are subjective, but I believe that's just because different neighborhoods get different adjustments based off of the sales within them. And like I said, as your market is best represented by the homes within your area. And as shown in my sales comparison grid, our value is supported. So I will ask the board to sustain our value, the land value being $76,470. Building value is $389,891. for a total assessed value of $466,361.
Roger. Here, buddy.
Yeah, and I'm certainly not pointing fingers, but basing a home's value on the sale of just one other home in an area is really ripe for being wrong on multiple levels, because someone paid an exorbitant price for a home, just one, then it's really not a very good basis to average nominal values of a whole group of homes within an area, just basing it on one particular sale. On my list, I based it on 12 sales, and because there aren't the, I'm going to say, like and kind model that I have, within my area, I had no other choice but to look countywide. But it just seems to me that basing the value on this home, because this home sold for X amount of money, is ripe for error. It's really not a good market indicator. You can't base the values of a whole countywide homes based on a single sale. I mean, and that would be my take. I would assume that it would be based on an average of sales that are within the area throughout the county, or things that are like and kind, comparable. Apples and apples, oranges and oranges. Simple as that. In this case, maybe, and I would consider it to be maybe just a little overzealous. When we look at market values of any home, granted, and let's just cut to the chase, what people assess of value in the assessor's office is probably not what the sale prices are of these homes. The very numbers in here that I use for the sale price right in here say so. Sale price for this very first one, item 1, $450,000, assessed value $227,299. That's home only, so the land and outbuildings would be subtracted. And I did not add those numbers into my spreadsheet, but the point being is that if you look at the sale value of every one of these, their assessed values are nowhere near what their sale values are. And that's by a matter of how, well, I can't even say the why and the wherefore on that one, but, and that's good for the taxpayers. It really is. And so anyway, basing the value of my home against the sale of one single home is ripe with error. Yeah, I mean, the possibilities are so big, you could drive a truck through it.
Okay. You addressed 3 other homes. Where did you get that information?
So these other comparables are from the information the appellant provided. Those are the others within the Ephrata area, which is where the subject parcel is. They are not in the same neighborhood, but they are within that greater Ephrata area, so that's why we use them.
Can you tell me which ones they were?
Sure. So let me see. Sorry, so number 1 on the appellant's list is comparable number 2. Number 4 on the appellant's list is comparable number 3. And number 5 on the appellant's list is comparable number 4.
Go ahead if you had something else.
The only thing I wanted to say is within this entire neighborhood, there are only 9 triple-wide manufactured homes. And that would be the reason for us using that one sale. That's not always the case. If there are more sales, we definitely take those into account. But with there being such a small number of those, one sale can represent a market for that.
I appreciate that. That's very true.
And I guess, and Marge, do you have anything?
No.
My only concern is she's used data that you basically supplied her
Yes.
to make those comparisons, to come up with this number, so. I mean, do you have a response to that?
Okay, and so in this particular case, she's using the sale data on these, is that correct? Okay. And I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page.
Right.
But then when I take a look at the sale data for each one of those, and then I look at their actual assessed value as the latest, greatest one on their website, their assessed value is significantly less than my assessed value. What the homes were sold for and their assessed value are absolutely different things. And so I want to compare apples and apples and oranges and oranges. I'm looking at my assessed value versus their assessed values. And you can't compare my sale value because that would be an unrealized benefit that I don't have. I did not pay that kind of money for my home to begin with. It did not sell, and it's been there for 27 years. And so their sale value that's basing my assessed value, those are apples and oranges. And when you look at the assessed value and the assessed value of those examples, they are much different. They're significantly less. And that's what I'm trying to, that's my point.
Okay.
We have to compare apples and oranges to oranges. We can't cross.
Okay.
So what the Department of Revenue requires is that we use sales to develop our market value. So we can't use assessed values, and we can't use the difference between the sale and assessed value. We have to use the value of that sale to develop our market adjustments to meet that 100% of market value. So I understand what he's saying. It's an unrealized value for him to recognize the sale of his own property, but that's what the Department of Revenue requires of us.
And I appreciate what the regulations and the law is, but that begs the question, if that's the case, then why are all of these other assessed values on this list not significantly closer to what the sale prices are? I didn't sell mine,
It could be a
but
number
I'm
of
being taxed like I did.
It could be a number of different things. With them being in different neighborhoods, there may be more sales to represent those manufactured homes that would make a different market adjustment. We attempt to meet 100% of market value. It doesn't always come to that full 100% of market value for each sale. But that they could be different because they are in a different neighborhood, and we use the sales within the neighborhood to develop market adjustments for that neighborhood.
Anything else?
No, I think that we're gonna talk this thing to death if we keep going.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right.
Okay, this concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the court order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization. And we'll be hearing petition number 2024-138 for parcel number 39614-141280301, represented by, I apologize, Anatoly and Valentina Baragovi, who are not in attendance, and the assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is in attendance. This is a reminder that you were sworn in, and we will continue. Mr. Chair, the board is convened.
Hearing today is regarding a true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. There are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners, trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakel as chair, Mark Steinmetz as vice chair. We are missing a third. We normally have 3 board members except for today. However, 2 board members make a quorum, and we will proceed with the hearings. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear the testimony is about to give is the truth?
Yes,
Go ahead.
thank you. This petition 2024-138, subject parcel is 5.01 acres of residential land. And the improvements include a double-wide manufactured home and a one-story single-family residence that at the time was only 90% complete. Now, the appellant did provide a fee appraisal.
Hang on
Okay,
just a second.
no problem.
This packet we got
Mhm.
in our file was so blacked out.
Okay,
We have just the pictures.
Just the
To be
pictures.
able to see what they took,
okay.
because we couldn't see them in our files.
I have a copy here if
No,
that
no,
makes
no.
it easier. Okay,
We don't need one for the.
okay,
two of us.
okay, perfect. Okay,
Go ahead,
so
I'm
in
sorry.
this fee appraisal, that's really difficult for you guys to see. The appellant's estimate of value leans heavily on that sales approach value derived from this fee appraisal. With homes that are still under construction and not complete, we would not use a sales approach to value the home. We'd use the cost approach because we just don't have sales of homes that are 90% complete to compare it to. So by using that cost approach from here, the fee appraisal doesn't account for the value of the manufactured home nor value of porches or any additional improvements on the home. So the reason we didn't just take the value from this fee appraisal is because when we add all those things together, our value is actually less than, for our value for cost approach is less than the one here when we add in our values for the manufactured home and the additional porches. So with that, we're asking the board to sustain our value of land value of $50,200, improvement value of $981,892 for a total assessed value of $1,032,092.
Yes, my question is kind of twofold, I guess. When a fee appraisal comes in, do you take that into consideration at all?
Definitely, yeah, we scour these and make sure that the information is consistent with ours and that if we are missing something, we find that in the fee appraisal. So yes, we do take them into account.
So they're 90% completion and their number of 740,000 is,
It's quite a bit different. Yeah, and so some of the reason for that is they are looking at the sales approach, so they're comparing them to other homes, and I think that's where they're coming up with that 740,000 is with comparing it to sales of other homes. All the sales that they provided were past that cutoff date that we have for that year's taxes, so they could be considered for next year when this home is 100% complete. But as of this point, those sales are not relevant for the parcel, one, because it's not complete, and because they're past that cutoff date for us.
the cutoff date is?
Let's see, so for the sales window for the 24-25 tax year is May 1st, 2019 through April 30th of 2024.
Okay. These are all except for one. There's one for, on October of 22, but. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-056 for parcel number 63448-2017-43000, represented by Scott and Amy Olson, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note that these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to the YouTube channel once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. There are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville, as chair, Marge Steinmetz as vice chair. We normally have 3 board members except for today. However, 2 members make a quorum and we will proceed with the hearings. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide additional testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Okay. Appellant normally goes first, but since there isn't one, go ahead.
Thank you. This is petition 2024-056. Subject parcel is 5.9 acres of land with a single-family residence, a shop, and 2 grain bins. The appellant's concern in their petition was that they had not made any improvements to the property since it was last assessed. I did speak to the owner to verify all improvements and make sure there was no conditional issues with any of them. The only difference that caused that increase for the parcel was the market adjustment placed. The market adjustment was based off of the sales in the neighborhood and are shown on my, in my appraisal response on page 8. With the home placed in that grade, it does support our assessed value. So we're asking the board to sustain the value. Land value is $73,252, improvements at $213,364 for a total assessed value $286,616.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of this order. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-091 for parcel number 14457-070805302, represented by Jason and Holly Grubb. Jason is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville as chair, Marge Steinmetz as vice chair, and again, we normally have 3 board members except for today. However, 2 members make a quorum and we will proceed with the hearings. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please keep to the timelines and please address the board only. Both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The appellant will go first and present any testimony and then followed by the appraiser.
Hi, thank you for presenting this opportunity to come in and talk about this. So essentially, we had a cost to build the house, which I think it represents a true and fair value. We're not disputing that the land did in fact probably increase in value since we bought it. So I guess I have more of a question, and I don't know if this is the arena to present that in, but when there are no comparable sales in the vicinity, it, it makes it very difficult for us to present evidence and dispute the costs that we see here. Is there another avenue to determine that value other than recent sales? And again, I don't know if this is the right arena to ask that question or.
Okay, let me start with, did you contact the assessor's office to try to make any inquiries that way?
No, not directly, sir.
Okay, and
Would that be the avenue?
that would be the avenue that I would recommend.
Oh,
And
okay.
you have the senior appraiser here, Matt Hope is back here if you want to talk to him afterwards.
Oh,
You can talk to
fantastic.
him at that time.
Okay.
Anything else for your side?
Essentially, no. I mean, I feel everyone should pay their fair share of taxes. I just think that my tax value should align closely with those in my neighborhood.
Okay.
So to address that, the way that we value things when there aren't sales to represent a market in the areas, we value it at cost. So that's what happened with this home. We valued it based off the cost to build, or not, excuse me, the replacement cost new, less depreciation since it was a new home. Just the value from the Marshall and Swift tables that we use, that's where that came from. Their construction costs they provided, there is a difference in that, and that part of that reason is that their contract is from 2022 and our costs were updated in 2024. So the difference is the cost tables from 2022 to 2024 is part of that. In the fee appraisal that they provided using the cost approach, their total value in that fee appraisal is actually higher than what we have as the, with using the cost approach for our total assessed value. So with that being said, we're asking the board to sustain our value. The land value being $57,960. Building and structures value is $602,451 for a total assessed value of $660,411.
Any rebuttal?
No, other than I know what our house costs to build, and when we got our C of O, I would think that would be, the contract was signed, yes, in November of 2022. Construction lasted from basically January of 24 or 23 to December of 23, which we moved in 24. So, I mean, I would think that the contractor's price would be a fair value considering we got C of O in 2024, I believe, like December 31st or January 1st, which the actual construction costs actually declined in that time because COVID was raising the material cost, I just feel that it's kind of an inflated value, but that I don't have any evidence to back that up, and I appreciate what the assessor's office does to basically get a value. I can see it can be very difficult at times, so.
Just that with the construction costs, it can be different for every contractor. So for consistency, we use our software system and build the home app for its components within that. And we do that across the board for everybody. So that's what helps us to keep it consistent rather than taking construction costs for every home.
I would agree with that. I mean, no, sir.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Okay, good morning. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-059 for parcel number 32096-120943000, represented by Eugene and Kelly Conroy, who are in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
Hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We're normally 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brakewell as chair, Martin Steinmetz as vice chair. Again, we normally have 3 board members except today, and we will be with, however, 2 members make a quorum, so we will proceed with the hearings. We've reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to prevent any or additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines and please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Are you going to testify also?
she's very hard of hearing.
I'm not hearing a word you're saying.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. The appellant will go first and present any testimony, then will be followed by the appraiser's office. Get Matt to sign in. Okay, go ahead.
I just have one question. You said that I should have turned in some paperwork before this time? Well, you said,
No new evidence can be submitted at this
so
point.
I had an appraisal done, but when I got the paperwork with our date, it said that,
You had 21 days to resubmit.
yeah, but that was, when I talked to Casey, that was for her to submit us her assessment.
I think it's for everybody.
Well, then I really misunderstood at that time, because I did have an appraisal done on March 4th that I would have submitted if I'd have known that's what.
The
letter states.
the letter, I guess we misunderstood the letter saying that we were gonna have the information from you guys by that time.
Because I missed
Because we even called and because we thought the
hearing.
hearing was on a different date and we even
Because it was
called and they said
highlighted on
no.
there, you know, and we.
So I guess we misunderstood that
We were supposed to submit
we
our,
were going, yeah.
because we had an appraisal done on March 4th, which I would have, I guess we misunderstood that. Okay, so, but whatever, I did have an appraisal done and it came in at $578,500. And my initial complaint is that in 2013, when we went to move this property, it was assessed at $115,000 or $115,000. And we built a shop. And it's a big shop, but it's a pole building. It's strictly a pole building. We have a little bit of area in there that I sheetrocked and for my wife to put some of her nicer things in there, but there's no plumbing. It's strictly electrical. And there's a couple wallboard heaters. And they increased the property $145,000 for just that building, which, you know, was more than the property and the house and everything, all that, which was built in 1985. And in 2020, it was worth $313,791. And in 5 years now, it went from, last year it rose 80,000, and then this year it went up another 190,000. So in 2 years, it's gone up $270,000. And that, to me, I just can't understand.
And we haven't done anything.
We haven't the house is still originally 1985. The only thing that's been improved on is back before we had bought it, somebody put metal siding on it. But it's still got the original doors, stove, cooktop, dishwasher, I mean,
All the
windows.
appliances are the
Yeah.
original from when it was built.
So we built the shop. We did build a shop. We understand that. But what I'm saying is how can that shop, a pole building, be worth more than the property and the house residence itself? It's not living space. It's storage. It's big, don't get me wrong. It's a big pole building. But you can see the metal on the inside all the way around it, except for one area I did for my wife to put some special stuff into. So all I'm saying is $270,000 in 2 years seems like that's more than, you know, it was worth, you know, almost in 2020. And when we did get our comps from Casey, she gave us basically a land comp. She didn't give us any houses that comped with us, which our appraisal did. And that, to me, it was more accurate. I mean, I don't even like that appraisal. I still think we're way overvalued, but I guess that's why I'm here. That's all I have to say is that I think we should be at least put to where our appraisal is at.
We wouldn't be able to I guess we wouldn't be able to sell it for more than their appraisal unless somebody was gonna pay cash, because no bank will give a loan on something that appraises less than what it's selling for.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, so, with the concern with the shop, it was inspected in reval. At that time, there was nobody home, so we had to make our assessments based off of what we could see from the outside. After speaking with the owner during their appeal period, I did go and visit again and check out that shop. I looked at the interior and the exterior and viewed the whole thing, and we did make a change based off of that. So the shop previously was valued at an average quality. With what I saw, it would be at a lower quality. So we are recommending that change. As far as with their home, everything being original in value, we have it valued at average condition, which means it gets the average depreciation for homes of its age. And when I visited the property again, I did verify all improvements with the homeowner, all the components of every building on the parcel. So with the home being of average condition, that's what we would normally value it at, even if it hasn't been updated. The reason I didn't supply any comparable home values was because this is all based off of cost. We didn't apply a market adjustment. So there weren't sales to compare to when we valued it at cost. I did supply the land value because on the appeal, they are recommending a lower land value. So that's why I did include those. I think that's all I have. So with the change we made to the shop value, we are recommending that the board adjust our current assessed value to the land remaining $55,500, the building and structures value to be $548,511, for a total assessed value of $604,011.
Any rebuttal?
No, I think she told the truth.
Okay. But you're appealing the land value and,
No, the land seems fine to me. It's just the overall increase is all what I'm complaining about. I think it's just, like I said, $270,000 in 2 years is, and just this year at 190,000 is, it's a lot.
okay.
For being retired and trying to make ends meet, it's.
No, I don't think so.
Do you have anything else? All right.
I just want to apologize. I didn't realize about the appraisal, so I'm sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, this concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the order. Good morning. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-135 for parcel number 45585-160905012, represented by Steve Restad, who is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Darren Hine, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phone. Note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order is issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is opened.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are normally 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners or trained by the Department of Revenue Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brinkman as chair, Mark Steinmetz as vice chair. And again, normally we have 3 board members except for today. However, 2 members make a quorum and we will proceed with the hearings. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines, and please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay. The appellant will go first.
Okay, well, you said you have all of my evidence in your stack there. Which I do believe starts with the disputed back in 21. And then the disputed of 23, which is this one, I believe. And the agreed value, the land value has gone up significantly since 2017. Seems like every year it goes up. And then every year I have to dispute, and then every year something happens and it gets chopped a little bit down just to make it sound a little better. But my main evidence, as far as what I submitted, was the critical areas on their sheets, number 6 that I have in your documents, shows the widths of all the buffer width by impact of proposed land use. 1 year they came back with they said they have.
Let us get to
Oh, okay,
that
I'm sorry.
page. It takes us a minute to scroll
Yeah.
through this.
All right.
Go ahead. It's looks to be like
Page, did he say?
page 6
Six.
of his, so it's up in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah. Oh, there, I found it.
No, it's this, I believe.
What the heck?
Or this is
Have to go back.
buffer width, is that what you're addressing?
Yes.
Okay. About 8 pages in.
Oh, I thought that's where I was.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
No, you're way,
where,
yeah, keep going.
past him. Sorry, guys. I don't see where the page numbers are. Oh, I was looking on the right-hand side.
It's 5 or 6, right?
Oh, there we go. So sorry.
Go ahead.
But on their sheet from the county shows their buffer widths. When they came back to me with, they said a half of an acre would be subtracted from the assessed value. And all of these are within, even the shortest one is 25 feet, and that's from the very center of impacted zone. That's the critical area zone. Most of them are from 40 to 100 or 200 feet width. So I'm not seeing how they come up with just a half acre when their shortest one is 25 feet. So that'd make it from the center or from the edge, 25 feet, another 25 feet, and then the impacted zone, which is about 25 feet wide. So there's 75 feet. And that runs through the total property, which is on number 4. Shows it running right through my property, right through the middle, actually. So that's the first part of it. The critical area zone isn't really defined as far as their assessed value. Okay, then on number 3 here, you can go back one. My assessed value land and improvements was 56,000 for the land, 119 for improvements, which is just a big metal shop. I live in 350 square foot studio apartment inside this big shop. So as far as the improvements go, the improvements have kind of gotten out of hand too.
Okay, let me stop you. We're talking about a 2021,
You know, well, this one goes back.
that's what you said.
Yeah,
Number
but
three
then
is
I'm coming up to
2021.
this date right now. This is what they had.
Can we go to the 2024, 25?
Okay. When I disputed it, it was, their new was 115,000 for the land, and the building was 119. Okay, now as far as the land goes, on my evidence, number 7 shows my neighbor's land. And from 2019, his land, it's 40 acres.
We need to address 2020.
I'm there. I'm coming up to it. It's just that they had it assessed at that amount. It still is at that amount right now. I'm just stating that over the years, it stayed at $70,000. 70 in 19, 70 in 20, 21, 22.
Okay.
Actually went up to 72,000. And he has a 40-acre lot and actual house and 2 big shops. So I'm trying to figure out why he has 40 acres of land. I have 14.5 because half acre is actually up on Dodson Road. And they have that assessed at $1 because it's non-usable. It was supposed to be up there where the well sits at the end of Dodson and Eva Lake Road. So I have 14.5 acres. And here my neighbor has 40 acres. And his land market value is 72,548. And they've got my 14.5 acres assessed at 119,945.
And that's for this year.
That is for this year.
Okay. I gotta get to where I can see what you're talking about, because this has been all over the map and I need to.
I'm confused.
119,945.
Number 7,
Improvements, not the land.
land, not improvements. Land market value.
Land is 115,211 according to what I'm seeing.
On mine,
That's what you said.
it's at 119,945.
That's the building structure
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You have 115?
for land.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I misunderstood that one. I just spoke down. 4,000 off. Okay, but still, these are 70. You know, and it shows 70,000 on this one for land on market value for my neighbor. But he's at 72,548, and I am at the what? 115,210 with 1/3 of the size.
Okay. Mr. Moore?
Well, just all the stuff's in there that you've got. I mean,
Okay.
as far as the social impact of landfills, being so close to a landfill. And then this you don't have, which is a toxic cleanup program for the Grant County landfill, which shows me within, I don't know, pretty close to their boundary, showing number of samples contaminated above state standards. And I'm sure we've all received this in the mail if you live in the county here. Department of Ecology, Grant County, afraid of landfill 1 cleanup site.
Well, I think it's probably just went to people that were affected by it, because I
Could be.
haven't received it.
Okay, very well could be.
Okay.
But now there's a toxic cleanup site right next to me, so, I mean, as far as landfill goes, the values on this study they did say they're 12%. And to average decrease the value of land adjacent to it by 12.9%. Smaller landfills depress land values less around a 2.5% reduction. But we are at a high impact landfill there, so it's 12.9%
Okay.
as far as our studies go. this thing is still going through the state Board of Equalization from the last time I've disputed.
Okay.
So we're kind of going behind what I still need to catch up on theirs.
Okay,
So you guys have all the evidence.
anything else?
No, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah, now I understand that there is a BTA that's in process. Yes. We have to follow the market. I provided in my response sales from the neighborhood that the appellant resides in that definitely support our value, and you guys can see that for yourselves. As far as, again, we have to follow the market. This goes the same for other issues that neighbors have to deal with, whether it be the landfill, a marijuana grow. This comes up. But if we don't see the market, we're required by law to follow the market by the DOR. And if I have land sales, which is where the basics of this dispute are, it definitely supports that. And you'll see that I pointed out number 5, which is the closest in acreage. We can support our value for those acres. I'm not going to address anything further in regards to his neighbor, but I will state that because of the acreage size of the appellants, that's a sub-1 property. The neighbor is large suburban. Those are 2 totally different beasts. And those standards are set by looking at land sales. Not here to talk about the neighbors. We're here to talk about me being able to sustain our value for the subject property. Again, if we don't see a change in the market, by law, we cannot change our values. I don't know if I even need to go into what is now qualified as lake bottom, which that was made, I think, back in 2023, where the appellant had brought that to the attention, and that was rectified. There's no sales that have been given by the appellant. We have no proof that the property, which is basically 2/3 of that parcel west of where the wetland is unbuildable. I can go further, but I'm choosing not to right now.
Okay. Clarification.
Yeah.
The assessed value that went out was $115,211 for the land, $119,945 for the property, $235,156 total, and that's the same as it was last year. Is that what I'm reading?
Correct.
Okay.
And one thing I didn't state, there was not a market adjustment on this property. This is solely base cost less depreciation. So we're not dealing with a market adjustment issue.
Okay, yeah, he's stating that there's no other, he used a form that had a sale of, I think it was on a 12-acre lot, 12.75 for 170. That is not close to the landfill. It's not closer to the landfill than I am, and it has no critical areas. So therefore, I don't see how that could even be.
I don't see a 12 point.
No, it's a 17.55.
Number 11 in my evidence.
Oh, in your evidence.
Oh, yeah, that's what they sent me.
Okay.
I did not send that.
But somebody from the county did.
I'm looking at
The county assessor sent it to me.
here's my response. Number 11 is a 5-acre parcel that sold on June 21st of 2023. That looks like, that was from last year.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with this year.
I didn't get that one this year, or I would have been all over it.
Barb,
I received it.
and was that emailed or was it mailed?
I would have to go.
Actually, hold on one second. I think I can.
And then there's another thing with the BOE, as far as the Washington State goes. I submitted all my evidence, everything was ready to go, and the county failed to send the stuff in to the state at the timely manner. So they sent me an email stating that it was gonna be dissolved because the facts were not sent to them in time. So I called the county, and the lady, I still have it on my email, it says, I'm sorry, I had no idea I had to respond to this and send all your evidence in. So that somebody dropped the ball here at the county to make this Washington State BOE go another term because they failed to do their part.
And I can't speak to anything that's going on with the previous BTA.
Okay, well, whatever, that's why we're in this kerfuffle right now, because things weren't handled appropriately.
Here's the email that was sent to Barb, the BOE, and the appellant.
July 8th, 2025.
Yep. So it was sent out. So this information was available.
Okay. The email stating it wasn't.
That's apples and oranges.
Gotcha.
This email is this one. The one you're talking about previously was me.
Yeah.
The BTA, that was different.
Gotcha.
Anything else?
No.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Okay, Mr. Sturm, can you see and hear us okay? Oh, let me promote you. That would probably be helpful. I'm going to promote you to a panelist.
You're busy.
Okay, now you should be able to unmute. Can you see and hear us and speak okay?
There, now I'm off mute. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you. Awesome.
Okay, great.
Real good.
Do you need to see me or can you see me or does it matter?
We need a little more volume.
We don't see your face, but we can see your name on the screen, which is perfect.
Okay. And did somebody say you need me more volume?
There it is. We
That's
got
perfect.
it. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay.
I'm not sure why the coming in, but you can hear me, so that's the key part.
Yeah, hang on.
Perfect. Okay, here we go. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-075 for parcel 32943-121126411, represented by Michael and Linda Sturm. We have Michael via Zoom today. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. And note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. There are normally 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Brinkle, as chair, Mark Steinmetz as vice chair, We are normally, and like I said, 3 board members except for today. However, 2 members make a quorum and we will proceed with the hearings. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. The hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines and please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
The appellant will go first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got a little, short little statement that I can summarize. I think, my name is Mike Singer. Was built 2003, and I've made no improvements, just maintenance. And I'm not sure the whole issue has been really clear of why I filed this appeal. It's really not about the value so much. It's about what I believe was the inconsistency in levying the property tax in 2024, and what information or data did the assessor have to make this assessment. I went back and I looked at 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5 years for my property. I compared my 2 neighbors, one on the north, one on the south. I used them. We have the same property on the lake, and nobody made any changes. All previous 4 years, 2020 to 23, our property assessment percentage changes, whether they were increases or decreases, were within 5 or 10% every year. It was extremely consistent and made by the county. However, for 2024, my property percentage increased higher than the adjoining properties by more than 100%. Theirs around 16% and mine was 32%. And again, I made 0 improvements. I know property assessments are complicated, lots of calculations, equations, data, algorithms, etc. But I believe there was a minor input error made on my property in 2024. I submitted an appeal and I specifically requested, I checked the box on the county form. I request the information used by the assessor evaluating my property. This is public information, but up until today, I still have never received this information. Instead, a property appraisal was done on my property and sent to me, supposedly justifying the assessment. I'm not appealing or questioning the appraisal. It's an entirely different process. All due respect to Casey Gray, who did the appraisal, but I believe it's irrelevant to my appeal. The appraisal was not used by the assessor last year to make the assessment. My neighbors, and likely over 95 or 90% of Grant County, they didn't have appraisals done to justify their tax assessments. So in summary, for 2024, I'm just asking, why did my assessment percentage of my property increase so inconsistently with the previous 4 years, considering no improvements have been made? And what information did the assessor use to make this determination? And please share this information that led to the big change. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. First, I'd like to explain how we assess properties. Every property is assessed the same. We take building data from each property for all the components that make up each building. We put that in our software system, which determines the quality of the build and determines the cost less depreciation for a replacement cost new. That's done for every property. Is then with sales within the neighborhood of the subject parcel of homes of similar makeup, then a market adjustment's applied if necessary. So, which is what our sales grid is on page 6. So this is the information we use to come up with the value for the appellant property. All of the information on page 4 of my response with the subject property details, that was the information entered into our system that gave us that replacement cost new. And then the sales in the grid on page 6 are what we use to develop the market adjustment that was applied to the residents. With that, we can see that our value is supported within that grid. And each property is assessed every year. It's not the appellant property wasn't the only one appraised. When he submitted his appeal, we did review it and found there was a discrepancy with how the information was entered into the new software for the garage. So that is the adjustment that was made. It was just within the computer. It wasn't an error. It was just the way that it was entered wasn't consistent with what we had for the area. So that was the adjustment made. Market adjustments through that area, all, as he states, with all his neighbors, they've all been the same. And for each of them, they've gotten the same market adjustment from 2020 to 2024. They've all received the same. So the appellant property is not being singled out in any way. They're all assessed the same and market adjustments are applied in the same way. With that adjustment that we did make to the garage, we are asking the board to adjust our current assessed value for the land to be $150,000, building and structures to be $371,536, for the total assessed value to $521,536.
Mr. Stern, any rebuttal?
Yeah, that doesn't explain at all why 2020, 21, 22, 23, everybody moved up incrementally. Sometimes it was a big increase. It might have been 30, 40% one year. And then all of a sudden, 2024, I'm spiking. Statistically, I'm off the chart. I'm 100% higher than them. I've got a simple little piece of property. They've got docks and sheds and storage facilities and launches and boat lift. They got all sorts of stuff. How in the world can mine go up so much higher percentage than them? My dollars per square foot is actually probably more than some of these other houses that have got way more stuff than I've got in this little place. I just don't understand how theirs go up 16 and I can go up 32. So I think there's somehow there was a fat finger on the key and the wrong little input got made, because it was so, it's unbelievable that we can be so consistent. And then this year we get this big giant spike when I did nothing. I mean, granted, I know you're looking at other values in the area, but theirs should go up too. If I'm up 32%, we'll say, then there should have been too, just like you've done the previous 4 years. This is an aberration, and it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Well, okay, I have a question. I see that, and this is for both of you, if I can. I see that the assessor's notice came out, it was 6/16/349. And what I'm seeing in your final documentation here is it's different, 5/23/079. Can you explain it first, and then you can explain it to him, and then we can go on from there, I guess.
Sure. So after the change of value notices went out, we did discover within our office there was an error with the market adjustment placed. So we did send out new change of value notices to this area with a corrected adjustment. So that's why the value did go down.
Or did you get the corrected change of value notice?
I did. And mine went down. It was like 50-some%, and it dropped down to 32. The neighbors were in the 30s, and theirs dropped down into the teens. And so, yeah, there was an adjustment, but it didn't. Maybe that wasn't enough. Maybe that's when I should have been. Maybe I should have dropped a lot lower. I still can't. I don't understand, Kate, how you can be within 5 or 10% every single year, and this year you're 100% different. My property cannot be appreciating 100% more than the neighbors. The one neighbor's got a far newer home, and the other neighbor's got tons of property and launches and boats and roads and tons of stuff. How can mine be going up 100% and theirs going up 15%? I mean, it makes no sense. Right, I get it. We're all trying to equate the market, and I'm not questioning the value. frankly, your 521 value might be too low. I'm just questioning your process of how you even got there, how you can be so inconsistent in 2024, which is my fundamental question. You know, you went back in and backloaded your appraisal to justify the assessment, but the initial assessment was I think incorrect. It couldn't go up 100% more than the neighbors. It's impossible. It could if I'd had casitas and ADUs and lunches and did all the things that maybe they did. I didn't do any of that, and yet I'm the one who's got the biggest increase.
Let's see, as long as all the information that's supplied in my packet for the information for the home is correct, then we don't compare percentage increase of neighboring properties. Everybody's homes are made up of different components.
Did you do an appraisal of the two neighbors or just mine?
The entire area was in inspection cycle and each one was inspected and an appraisal was done every.
I didn't ask that. I said an appraisal. You did a full, I got it from you, which was good. It was very thorough. You did a 4 or 5 page appraisal. You had dollars per square foot. You did a lot of comps. They're very detailed. I get it. I don't think you did an appraisal on anybody else to justify their assessments.
This is the process we use when an appeal is submitted.
Yeah, and that would be true if we were if we were debating.
Sturm?
Yeah.
Let her answer the question.
Oh, sorry, I thought she did. Sorry, go ahead.
This is the process when an appraisal is submitted and each parcel is reviewed when that market adjustment is applied. Within our office, we call it testing. So that is done. This specifically was not done on the neighboring parcels because they did not request the information like Mr. Sturm did.
There's your answer, sir.
Yeah, and that your process would make sense if we'll say you assessed at 500,000 and I think it was worth 200,000. Let's go get an appraisal and let's debate it. We're not debating the value. We're debating your process, how you got there, how you can be so inconsistent. That's what we're debating. We're not debating the number. I didn't say it. That's what I said in the beginning. We're not debating your number. Your process in this case doesn't really work because we're not debating that number. You're not debating your 523, 521. I want to know how you got to that number. I know you explained it, but I don't know if you did it. You guys went back checked it, thoroughly looked at all the data. No inputs are wrong. You can't explain to me why I'm 100% increase, bigger percentage than them.
I'm not sure what the miscommunication is. This appraisal process is what leads to our assessed values. We don't compare the neighbor's home. We do compare homes, but the neighbor's home isn't what we use to determine their value. We use their information input in the same way as the neighbor's information to develop their value. We don't take this neighbor looks just like this neighbor, so we're going to apply the same value. Each one is built off of their specific components.
Except maybe when I do an appeal, maybe you should look at it. Maybe you should look at what you did to one neighbor to another. You don't have to do an appraisal. That costs a lot of money. Just look at your data you did to do your assessment. That's what I'm saying. We never needed the appraisal. I think the initial assessment was incorrect. They're at 15, 18%. I'm at 32. Something you did on that assessment was incorrect. And that's what should be looked at, not restarting it all over. Let's do an appraisal. I think something was done incorrectly, minor error, tons of data, lots of equations, lots of information. I get it, but there was an error made. I don't think an appraisal fixes your error.
This entire area was in reval. All homes were inspected and then verified their information within our software system. But we're talking about the subject parcel, and with the sales that we have that the market adjustment approved and in our sales grid, that value is supported by our market. So whether the neighbors values what the differing is there, this value is supported for the subject parcel based off of our sales.
Anything else?
So every year from 2020, we all went up or dropped the same. We're all in the same area. Every neighbor went up 10%, 30%. One year was no increase. One year we all went up 50. We're all within a 5 to 10% statistical band every single year. I mean, great job. How in the world did we get this year where we're totally out of the statistical band? I'm 100% greater. I'm no longer 5 or 10%. So when you looked at your neighborhood and you did everything, somehow on my property, not the others, my property, you did a statistic, somehow you goofed up. It's impossible that every other neighbor went up 15, 16, 17%, and I went up 32 when I did nothing. Statistically, that can't happen. There's somehow in your statistics, somehow you did something in the data, the formula. I don't know what it is.
Anything else, sir?
No, and I'm actually, the only thing I can think of is maybe somebody, because now my property, I live in Texas, and maybe the county added a new factor in there. Hey, if you live out of state, let's put a new factor in there and let's up the rates, something. Because I can't explain it.
Well, I don't think that's the case, sir, but is there anything else you want?
No, that's it. And maybe they could share the data. I mean, I did check the form, share the data. I didn't check a form that said share an appraisal. I said share the data that the appraisal that the assessor used. I never, like I say, shouldn't have the question on the form if we can't provide the data. Thanks.
Okay.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all the information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Okay.
Thank you for attending, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Oh, got a group coming in. Oh, no. I think that person was in shackles. Never mind. I'm serious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they still could be having their appeal.
Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-095 for parcel number 70279-311380000, represented by Ronnie Sawyer TRS Trust and R. Nash, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville, Marge Steinmetz as a vice chair, and Jerry Gingrich as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, does the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is true?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This is petition 2024-095. It's in the Moses Lake area, is 5.09 acres of commercially zoned land. There are many storage buildings here. The original concern of the appellant was that the land value was not based on comparable sales. All of the commercial sales that we used are on page 4 of my appraiser response. They did get a fee appraisal for the land, and they stated in that their sale number 2, which is sale 5 in the grid on my response, is the most comparable to the subject because it is zoned UC Urban Commercial 1, and the rest of those sales are zoned Urban Commercial 2. There are few Urban Commercial 1 sales within that neighborhood, or few land parcels that are zoned that in general. We did look further into the code for urban commercial 1 and 2, and we did not find that the differences between those were enough to differentiate our land values. So all of these were included to come up with that commercial rate. The average price per square foot of these sales is $5.53 per square foot, and the subject property is valued at $2.70 per square foot. So with that, we are asking the board to sustain our value of $448,000.
There's somebody walking in the room right now.
Could we ask who you are?
Ron and Rebecca Sawyer.
Okay. We were already started, so if you want to step up and sign in, please.
Okay.
Sign in here as a taxpayer.
Ma'am, are you going to testify also?
Am I going to testify? I don't know.
If you're going to testify, we need you to come up here and sign in.
Okay, shall I go do that just in case?
Sure.
Okay.
This chair over there, we can.
There's,
I get it.
no, there's a chair right here.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll have to swear you guys in. We had done this previously, so.
We'll go ahead and back up and
Yeah.
start over.
Okay, let's get them on record for petition 2024-0955, represented by Ronnie Sawyer Trust and R. Nash, who are now in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note that these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order is issued. Mr. Chair.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. The Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is myself, Jim Brakeville, Marge Steinmetz as vice chair, and Jerry Gingrich as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The appellant, go ahead. It's your turn.
Okay, thank you. So it's pretty simple. There's a difference of $150,000 between what the assessor thinks our property is worth. We did hire an appraiser, and we've sent all that information in. The appraisal came in at about $88,000 an acre by our appraiser and $120,000 by the county appraiser. This is the, that's just the gist of it right there. Our appraiser is a certified appraiser that does this for a living, and we think that they're accurate.
Okay. That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Go ahead.
With that fee appraisal, we did see that they had multiple comparable sales, and the one that they wanted to take, or they suggested the value with, was the one that was zoned the same, that urban commercial 1 versus urban commercial 2, which the rest of the sales are. Within the Moses Lake area, there are few urban commercial 1 parcels. That zoning is not as common.
Let me stop you real quickly. Urban Commercial 1, which one is it again? So they're up to date.
Oh, it's, let's see. So it's sale 2 in the fee appraisal, but 5 in the grid on my appraiser response.
Do you have the paperwork so you know what we're talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
So with that, we used the sales of all commercial land that we had, the urban commercial 1 and 2, to develop our rate, because we didn't have much of the urban commercial 1, but also when we looked into it in the code, the uses for urban commercial 1 and 2 are not different enough for us to make a change in the value for. So with these sales, we have on page 4, the average price per square foot with all of them combined is $5.53 per square foot. And the subject property is valued at $2.70 per square foot. And so with that, we're asking the board to sustain our recommended value $597,860 for the land, $556,438 for the improvements, for a total value of $1,154,298.
Yes, I do. So our property is located in Cascade Valley, and I don't know if you're familiar with the situation in Cascade Valley. It was annexed in, parts of it was not annexed in. It currently is under consideration for de-annexation because of lack of fire protection. So our ability to build things there on that piece of property are contingent upon, we would have to put in fire suppression at our own cost. So it's not the same cost for us to build on the things the young lady is suggesting we might be able to do there, which would be available on these other commercial properties that she's talking about. So if you factor in how much it would cost us to put in the additional fire suppression at that location, the property is not worth the same as it would be in another location.
I can appreciate that, although this property was a different zoning before, and then it was grandfathered in with the improvements that are on it. So if they sell this, the buildings would have to be removed. It wouldn't match code with the change in zoning. So it has more of a use as a urban commercial 2 property than the urban commercial 1, just because of it being grandfathered in.
News to me, I'm gonna have to tear my buildings down. I guess we'll have to look into that. Need an explanation on that one. But again, it's just a fact that we can't do a lot of the things, like if we wanted to put in a brewery or something like that, that you could do in some other, like our zoning would allow, but we're not able to do those things because of the fire suppression. And for us to be able to comply with the fire suppression would be hundreds of thousands of dollars to put in the tanks and the pumps and all the requirements. So that's basically it. It's just the location that we're in is not the same as valuable a location as the ones that the county's using for the comparables.
I wasn't aware of the fire suppression either, so that's something that we didn't get a chance to look at.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay, this concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-110 for parcel 72289-313272000, represented by Richard and, is it Renee or Rainey? Renee, okay, Mueller, who Richard is in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is also in attendance. Please silence your cell phones and note that these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is myself, Jim Breakville, Mark Steinmetz as vice chair, and Jerry Gingrich as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines, and please address the board only. Do both the appellant and the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
Yes.
I do. Okay. Appellant will go first and give any testimony.
Certainly, I understand that all of the information that I put forward so far has been received by all the members and reviewed on the members of the board. I don't really have much to add to that. I tried to be as clear and concise as possible because your time is valuable as well. My wife would have been here, but we have a new granddaughter in Eugene, Oregon, so I shipped her off because that's more important. This, though, is important to us as well. So if you had a chance to review what I wrote, I am happy to answer any questions that you have.
I don't have any questions. No?
So with the appeal, the original concerns were the year built of the tool shed and the shop buildings being uninsulated and without utilities. As far as the tool shed goes, we did see that the year we had placed on it previously was incorrect. We have made a correction to that, which is reflected in our new recommended value. And as far as the shops being uninsulated and without utilities, they are placed at a low quality, which accounts for both of those things. There was additional information received by the appellant with photos of the chicken coop, as he calls it. For Marshall and Swift purposes, we call that, which is the cost tables we use for our assessments. We value that as a tool shed. Tool shed at average quality is unfinished, without utilities, and has dirt, concrete, or wood floor. So that's why this tool shed, though the year has been corrected, it still is at an average quality. So with that, we're asking the board to sustain our recommended value of $55,531 for the land. Improvement value is $210,038 for a total assessed value of $265,569.
Okay, that's different than what we have.
Oh,
We
I'm
have a
sorry,
new
yes, you're right.
recommended
Yeah. Let's try that again. So land at $55,531. Building and structures at $206,578 for a total assessed value of $262,109.
I understand that tool shed is, based on what the respondent said, is a term that is used to define the type of building and not the use of the building. But obviously you saw my second response, I took exception to that because if you saw the pictures, there's not really a place to put anything other than a chicken, and that was difficult, frankly, as well. If you saw my notes, that's when we took the place over, that's all I found, and there was a lot of dirt and a dead chicken. The only improvement we made is to take the dead chicken out and put some live chickens in it. So I appreciate the understanding of the correction of the date of the building. I just don't, like I said, I understand as a layperson, appreciate you coming on the board as volunteers, understand it, but I have a hard time with, I understand that it might fit a category called tool shed, but I think if anyone has seen those pictures, I'm happy to invite any of you out to my house. You will understand why I was frustrated about that. Certainly nothing personal, but if you have livestock and things like that, you have different buildings that do different things, and some buildings are really only good for one or two things, and that's about it. I wouldn't put a tool in there.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
This concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearing. The board will review all information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of the mailing of the board order. Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and we're on record with the Grant County Board of Equalization, and we'll be hearing petition number 2024-127 for parcel number 30004-120167005, represented by Aaron Schrott, who is not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is in attendance. Please silence your cell phones. Note these hearings are being recorded and will be posted to YouTube once the order has been issued. Mr. Chair, the board is convened and the hearing is open.
The hearing today is regarding the true and fair value set by the Grant County Assessor's Office. Board of Equalization is independent of the Assessor's Office. We are 3 citizens appointed by the Grant County Commissioners and trained by the Department of Revenue. Today's board is comprised of myself, Jim Breakville, Mark Steinmetz as Vice Chair, and Jerry Rich as a member. We have reviewed all evidence presented by both parties. This hearing is only to provide any additional oral testimony. No new evidence may be submitted at this time. Remember, everyone's time is valuable. Please try to keep to the timelines. Please address the board only. Since there's no appellant, the assessor's representative swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This is petition 2024-127. This This parcel is 1.54 acres of residential land, and the improvements include a double-wide manufactured home and a shop building. I did physically inspect this property and spoke to the owner over the Ring doorbell and verified that there were no changes or issues with the property. I also did speak over the phone with the appellant during the change of value time, and when I spoke to him about the whole process, he understood a little bit better about how we develop our market. Within this neighborhood, there was just one sale of other double-wide manufactured homes. However, within the neighborhood, there are only 7 manufactured homes within it, double-wide manufactured homes. And that sale is directly south of the appellant parcel. And that sale on page 7 of my appraiser response. And when it's put into the sales comparison grid, it does support our value. So we're asking the board to sustain our value of $33,500 for the land, $382,197 for the structures, for a total assessed value of $415,697.
Great. Mark? Okay. One for one.
Continuing on with the hearing, I disappeared for a second.
Go ahead.
We are going to hear petition number 2024-141 for parcel 30204-120176019, represented by Sam and Catherine Grant, who are not in attendance today. This is a reminder that you are under oath. Casey Gray, who is in attendance. Sorry.
So this parcel is 1.04 acres of residential land, includes one single-family residence. The original concern of the appellant was that there had been no updates or changes made within the last 15 years to their home. There had been no changes made to the parcel. The only change, no changes made from the previous year. There was no market adjustment placed on the residence at this time. But when in the sales comparison grid on page 6, our value is supported. They haven't made any changes, but the condition of the home still remains average. So we're asking the board to sustain our value of $50,550 for the land, $362,463 for the improvements, for a total assessed value of $413,013.
Next is petition number 2024-131 for parcel 58831-190325001, represented by Gary and Tina Workman, who are not in attendance. The assessor's office is represented by Casey Gray, who is in attendance. Mr. Chairman, the board is convened, and reminder that you are under oath.
Thank you. This is petition 2024-131. Subject parcel is 4.6 acres of residential land. The improvements include a single-family residence, which was built in 1978 and remodeled in 2020, as well as a shop and a deck surrounding an above-ground pool. The concerns of the appellant was that they had made no changes since the previous year or since their home had been remodeled. And when I spoke with them, the only change that we had made from the previous year was the market adjustment placed on the home. And in page 8 of my appraiser response is a sales comparison grid, including those homes that we used to develop that market adjustment. And this grid shows that our value is supported with the recent market. I am asking the board to sustain our recommended value of $57,091 for the land, $415,967 for the building and structures, for a total assessed value of $473,058.
concludes the Grant County Board of Equalization hearings. The board will review all information provided, and board orders stating their decision will be issued within 45 days. If either party disagrees with the board's decision, they may appeal to the Washington State Board of Tax Appeals within 30 days of mailing of the board order. That concludes our day.